can we change the pace a bit? Can we change the pace? I want to start the video with a fan suggestion. This fan says, Dear Steve, try not to make this video a James Reimer love fest. Comment?
What? You serious?
Mind blown.
We need ideas. I'm dumb.
Silly hard.
We get to the game, please.
Autobots win 3-2 over the LA Kings. James Reimer is back. So this mask I should probably explain, because you'll notice it's a little bit different from the last one. Well, I moved recently and it's been difficult finding absolutely everything that I packed, and in the shuffle I can't find my plastic mask. So I called up Party City and I asked them, do you have any more Optimus Rhyme masks? And they said, do you mean Optimus Prime? And I said, I'm not gonna ask you again. And lo and behold, in the boys' birthday section, there was this. How they mixed up this amazing piece of alien technology with kids' toys, I'll never know. Here's how the game went. Jonathan Bernier facing his former team, fighting valiantly. Leafs actually out-shooting the Kings in the first 15-10, but it's the way they space him out. I would love to find a chart of the Leafs on the season when they get the most shots. The first period, the beginning of the first period, like the first 10 minutes, has to be the least. The second half of the first period, usually chock full of them. I don't know if that's because of some rope-a-dope strategy or they're just not that good at starting games. But Bernier making at least one amazing save. That crazy stretch, I got sore just looking at it. Ugh, my crying. But Marian Gaborik scores his first as an LA King because of course in the first 2 minutes, and then Anze Kopitar finishes off a one-timer, 2-0 Kings. And at this point, Phil Kessel hasn't scored in a full game in a period, so the Leafs are in shambles. Someone needs to step up. Dion Phaneuf. I thought the guy had hands of concrete, but look at the little dangles. Diongles. No. It's a dangle Dion, Leafs within one. But then Jonathan Bernier gets hurt somehow. What are the Leafs gonna do? This is down the stretch. How are the Leafs gonna make the playoffs? If they make the playoffs, how are they gonna succeed? Probably with the guy they had success with last year. But oh, Reimer's been cold. How could he possibly stop the mighty Kings? Especially when they go crashing into his head. Or as Randy Carlyle likes to call it, the shoulder. Well, I remember James Reimer having some success against the Kings. You have to go all the way back to his first days as a Leaf. His first career NHL game, he comes in relief of Jonas Gustafsson, mercifully faced 4 shots and stopped them all. Hall of Fame, here we come! Next game stops 32 of 33 against Ottawa for his first career NHL win, followed by a loss to the Bruins, but he still stops 31 of 33, stops 41 of 44 against Atlanta for the win, and then the Leafs head to California, and I'm like, this will test the kid. When I say kid, I mean I'm 3 days older than him. But I've been doing YouTube videos for longer than he's been in the NHL, so he's a kid. Reimer stops 30 of 32 against the Kings for the win, and the next night he gets the start against the Sharks, where he stops 40 of 42 for the win. And in those 2 California games, I was like, Optimus, this guy could stay. And stay he shall if he turns in performances like he did against the Kings last night. I can't breathe anymore. Gunnarsson scores the lone goal of the second period. A little bit of a tip, but who cares? Tie game. Third period, Leafs shorthanded, 2-on-1. JVR to Mason Raymond for the shouty. Team Mayray with the T-Pain, and the Leafs go up 3-2. Reimer stops all 31 shots that he faced in just 2 periods of work, and the Leafs win, getting 4 of a possible 6 points in Death Valley. And do you see a little bit of what I was talking about in the last video? Against the Ducks, even though the Leafs got outshot to hell, they had execution. When they got their chances, they finished them. No Mayray choking on a breakaway, no JVR whiffing on pucks in front of the net, nothing like that. Crisp, clean, and in. Dion Phaneuf looked like Pavel Datsyuk. A clunky, rugged Pavel Datsyuk, but it counts. I think against the Sharks, the Leafs were just so worn out from the night before, you can't afford to be a half step behind the Sharks, and the Sharks just killed them. Leafs had a bunch of opportunities where they could have kept that game close, could have even challenged, maybe sent it to a shootout, maybe even win. In this game against the Kings, again, they get outshot to hell, but the execution was there, and the defense was a little better around Reimer. At least I feel that way. The shots weren't much better. What does any good goalie do? Backup or starter? Gives his team a chance to win, and that's what Reimer did. And Bernier, hell, I know the Kings only got 10 shots to the Leafs 15 in the first, but it's kind of amazing that it was only 2-1 after 1. Reimer and Bernier exchanged amazing leg saves. I thought Bernier was even more groin tearing. Come to think of it, maybe that's what happened. A few unsung heroes. Nazem Kadri leading the way for the Leafs with 2 points. 17 goals, 29 assists for 46 points in 64 games. Meh. Could be worse, could be better. It's only on pace for 56 points. Meh, not bad. You take it, he's pretty young. But for the so-called cocky and brash Nazem Kadri, quietly, calmly, 20 points in his last 20 games. So the Kessel-Bozak JVR line has been extremely hot, ridiculously hot, but but there's been that secondary touch. There's not a lot of good one-line teams. Tim Gleason, I haven't talked about a whole lot. I like how tough he is. I think he's a little too expensive, but he blocks a ton of shots. Maybe you could have filled in for Reimer if he got hurt. And you guys have been getting on me for not giving him his due. I've been meaning to. Here it is. Paul Ranger. Didn't I say he'd pull it together? I know I also said he's playing awful, but I think I said he'd pull it together, pretty sure. Was never bad on the Leafs special teams, really, just 5-on-5. Whew. But getting used to the NHL game again, he was playing with guys like Morgan Rielly, and I'm like, that's not a recipe for success. They're both new in many ways. One's young and new, and the one is older and new, still, kind of. And then when he wasn't playing with Rielly, he was playing with Mark Fraser, who, everything I hear, nicest guy in the world, boat anchor, bank vaults for feet. A combination of injury issues and speed issues just slowed Mark Fraser down, and I think he just pulled Ranger down with him. Ranger, getting used to the NHL again, didn't do Fraser any favors. But now he's playing as the Leafs' 7th defenseman. The Leafs never use their 4th line anyway, so they might as well have this system in place. Ranger has been doing great in it. I think Gleason's been doing great in it. I think the Leafs' defense as a whole better. Now, they also gave up 133 shots in the 3 California games and only took 73, so maybe I should shut up. But it's just the way I feel. And I tweeted this last night. I will give you a shout out and an internet gold star if you can find the first video, the first ever LFR I did, where I talk about Nikolai Kuhlman and the idea of him maybe playing center one day. Because I know I talked about it, I know it was a few seasons ago, and I don't get things right often, so help me give myself a gold star. Question of the game. Let's pretend Bernier's out for 10 games. Who knows, he may play next game. Do you feel confident with James Reimer down the stretch? My answer is yes, obviously. But if I'm being honest, not as confident as I was last year. He had a sick game against the Kings. A bunch of sick games earlier in the season. People forget. It was Bernier and Reimer neck and neck. But the guy can get cold, and he has been cold a bit lately. I think he can do it. I just want to see him do it. And speaking of seeing Reimer do stuff, how about my boy pushing back? Somebody's an LFR fan. At least that's what I'm gonna tell myself to make myself feel better. One last thing, I keep forgetting to show you guys this. You have seen me wear this jersey before, Canadian Olympic jersey, but I got it customized at Pro Image in Pickering Town Center. There she is, Marie-Philippe Poulin. Look at that, gold leafs on the inside, fight strap, authentic bod. So shout out to Pro Image in Pickering Town Center, they do a good job. Tell them local celebrity Steve Dangles sent you. You'll likely be greeted by a man in sandals. Obviously the Leafs have a big Saturday night game, but looking ahead a little bit to Sunday, the Oshawa Generals' last game of the season. If you guys are going to be going to that, General Motors Center, I will probably be there. Working on plans, nothing committed yet, but I'm gonna try. So if you're in the Schwiggity Schwollywood, come say hi. That's all for this video. Click like if you liked it. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Check out my playlists on my YouTube channel. I got a playlist of every LFR video from this season and every season. And the Leafs, 4 of a possible 6 points in Death Valley.
Can you dig it?